Along with being a woodworker, I'm also a full-time martial arts instructor. So I was very excited to mix these two worlds when my teacher asked me to build him an outdoor plaque for his dojo. This was a real fun build for me as it gave me the opportunity to test out my laser engraver on a larger project and use some new wood slabs that I picked up. I'm going to walk you through each step on how I put this plaque together, and I certainly learned a few things along the way, and I hope you do too. Let's get started. I was lucky enough to pick up some fresh wood slabs from a house down the street recently, and I thought that a piece of this red oak would be perfect for this project. I'm not entirely sure how the wood was stored, but thankfully it is dry enough to work with, though I am going to treat it for bugs later in the video just to be safe. I'm going to start by cutting the slab to length and begin cleaning it up on the planer. Because it's going to be in the ground, I'm not really concerned about it being perfectly flat and planed. I just need it cleaned up and flat enough to engrave later with my laser. I will say, as much as I actually love the look of rough sawn wood, there's something very satisfying about seeing the contrast between the rough portion of the wood and the freshly planed surface. Though I think the shop foreman would prefer if I spent less time working and more time playing. It looks like at some point in this wood's life it had some boring beetles or another insect eating away at the wood. So now I'm going to do the monotonous job of cleaning away any residue left behind. All I'm doing is picking away with my compass and air gun. I'm not sure if this is the best way to do this, but I got the job done. Eventually. Next I'm going to attempt to kill any remaining insects that might still be in the wood by brushing on a mixture of borax and water and letting it sit for a bit. Cleaning it up after revealed this beautiful flaking of the wood grain, which got me excited for finishing the piece. Normally I don't enjoy sanding, but cleaning up the edges here with some 80 grit sandpaper was kinda satisfying. I didn't worry too much about shaping the edge yet, since I'm going to do that after I add some epoxy to the wood. Speaking of epoxy, here I am adding an exorbitant amount of tape because I wasn't sure how many of these cracks and knot holes would leak through to the other side. More on that in a moment. I wanted to seal everything good on the slab, so I'm filling in all these little knot holes, cracks, and the damage done by insects with epoxy. At first I thought that I would just be using a bit of epoxy, but in the end I underestimated how much damage the bugs had done and ended up covering most of the wood. I let everything sit for the night and the next day pulled off the tape to see that the epoxy only leaked through one knot. All that tape for one tiny hole. Better safe than sorry, I guess. Anyways, I cleaned up the epoxy on the planer, repeated for the other side, then filled in some small holes on the sides of the slab. Now I get to have some fun shaping the edges of the slab a bit with my sander, making sure everything is nice and smooth. I'll raise the grain once and finish sanding one more time. After cleaning with borax earlier, the red oak lightened in color too much in my opinion, so I decided I was going to stain the wood. Here I am applying some pre-stain to make sure everything goes on nice and even. I am applying a chestnut gel stain from Minwax that I had on hand. I'm just rubbing it in, letting it sit for a minute, then wiping it off. I was really happy with how this color turned out, as was the client. For such large artwork, I will have to do the laser engraving in 3 parts. At first I struggled figuring out how I was going to keep everything aligned. I tried to mark up blocks where the engraving would go, but that proved to be difficult to align. Then it dawned on me that I can just mark the center alignment on my board and add a center guiding line within the artwork. This way I only have to align everything to 2 points versus 4. This proved much easier and effective. Once you start the laser engraving at this stage, there's no turning back. So I set the laser to 0.01% power and trace the outline of the image one more time to double check alignment. Everything looks good, so let's start engraving. If this project proved anything, it's that I need to invest in an exhaust fan for the engraver. Each set of 3 characters took about 30 minutes to engrave, and after an hour my shop was filled with smoke, despite having my air filter running and some box fans blowing smoke outside. This is a huge safety risk and something that I will be fixing in the future. The laser engraver that I'm using is the Sculpfun S9. I have had it for a few months now, and I will say as a first-time user of laser engravers, I found the Sculpfun S9 easy to use and a ton of fun. So far I've engraved a variety of wood species including red oak, ash, and black walnut, as well as some fun glass engravings I made as a gift for my wife. If you're interested in getting started laser engraving, I'll provide a link to the Sculpfun S9 in the description of this video, along with the tools and finish I used to complete this project. Speaking of finish, I'm trying out Total Bolt Halcyon High Gloss Marine Varnish. This slab plaque is going to be set in the ground in a parking lot, so I wanted to make sure it was protected from the elements. I was originally going to use spar urethane, but after putting some research into marine varnishes, I decided to try out Total Bolt. I was happy with the finish process as I didn't have to sand between coats, and the finish is low VOC. It also dried fast between coats. Total Bolt recommends an hour between coats, but I found that it was ready for a new coat in 20 to 30 minutes. As per the company's recommendation, I did apply a quick buffing with a scuff pad before the 6th and final coat. And here is the finished product standing tall and proud in its final resting place. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned as much as I did from the building process. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe and like this video, as well as leave a comment below. All of this really does help the channel grow, and your support is much appreciated. There are also links below in the description if you're interested in any of the tools or products that I used. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video.